Welcome to the Podski. What? Ooh, yeah.
You understand, baby?
Dig it?
Let me tell you another thing.
First name John, last name Baker. Uh-huh. Brother.
Hello and welcome to the Podski. I am your host, the man of 1,000 gimmicks, John Baker. We're back from WrestleMania. What a week it was. I was so incredibly tired. We both were exhausted. Andretti and I finally feel like we're kind of back on our feet. We're going to give you a show today. We're going to put a bow on the WrestleMania week. We're going to talk about everything that kind of happened after WrestleMania night 2. And we're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about kind of everything that kind of happened in that show. So there was a lot of confusion. I will say this up front. There was a lot of confusion while we were at the show because they weren't really telling us anything in the building. So, and we saw a lot of things too during the show that were not too good. So we're going to cover that today. We're going to put a bow on our WrestleMania week, and yeah, it's just going to be good to talk with Andretti again about our WrestleMania week. Got to give a huge thank you to him and Mrs. Andretti. They treated me like royalty out there this week, so got to give them a lot of credit for being gracious hosts to me, and I can't thank them enough. It was certainly an awesome time, and can't wait for WrestleMania 40 next year. We're going to run it back. We're going to do it again. It's going to be in our hometown, right in our backyard. That next year it's going to be in Philly, so really excited for that and to see where they go. But all right, let's get into the Raw after WrestleMania and the WrestleMania week wrap-up. All right, we are back. I got Andretti and myself. You thought you could get rid of us, but we're back again for our final review of WrestleMania week that concluded with Raw after Mania, and it was quite an interesting show that we attended. And
so I'm jumping in here a little late today. So did you already start recording before this?
I did start, but I didn't save anything. I had the intro.
Okay. Now there might be a little bit of an echo on me here, and I apologize. I'm in a different spot in the house than what I normally am because my wife is doing a work call in my spot. So if there's a little bit of an echo, I apologize.
If there's is that Howard Finkel right behind your head?
Why? I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be. Like, are you seeing a ghost like in Strange Man, where you look into the mirror and you see Strange Man and Red Dead?
Oh my!
You turn around, he's not there.
How much Strange Man stuff did you watch?
Oh shit! What the hell just happened? Hold on, let me get up here. Hang on. What are you talking about? The like the YouTube videos?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen every one of them. Every time he posts stuff, I watch it.
What was the new one this week that was so scary?
It was creepy as hell, but I think it might have been an April Fool's.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Kind of.
Hang on, I'm keep talking. I'm trying to fix this chair.
Well, I am wearing the WrestleMania jacket still. I found out that they were, I'm pretty sure I got the leftovers from the Superstore, because from what Chalkline's website said is that you could only get them at the Superstore. So,
really?
So next year, I'm going to the Superstore early to make sure that's like going to be my thing. I'm going to make sure I get the Chalkline jacket of WrestleMania whenever I go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I'm going to make sure that I get it next year at Superstore way early.
I like that little twirl you did when you had the jacket on.
I did twirl. It's a fantastic live. But yeah, so we went to it. Monday felt like a long day because I was starting to get tired. It was starting to seep into my bones of how tired I was, and we went to breakfast at a spot I can't even remember what it's called.
Rise and Shine Cafe in Shadow Hills.
That's right. Rise and shine. Got the pancakes again. The pancakes were awesome.
Those pancakes are fantastic, man.
Literally ran it back with the same breakfast that I got the day before. Did not get the quesadillas.
No, we're too full.
Too full.
Shout out Taco Ranch. You guys have got the best quesadillas in the whole city. I wish we could have stopped. I mean, I would have been comatose the rest of the day.
Then we drove around. We went to Palos Verdes.
Yeah, that's the first time I'd been down there on along the shore down there. So that was a good ride. And then we almost got swept into the ocean.
Yes.
At the Korean Friendship Bell.
Yes.
in San Pedro.
It was insane.
Yeah. I think I broke the chair. Is what happened. There was a snap, and now I don't know what's going on. Man, dude, I know I got to lose weight, but I'm not that big. I'm not out here breaking chairs, I don't think.
Just over people's backs.
That's right. Yeah, so I mean, dude, I was out of it for a good 2.5, 3 days after that, man. I just was exhausted. Now I'm good. I felt pretty good yesterday, but I mean, we were on the move, dude, for 7 days. We were just moving. We weren't sleeping very much. We were recording at like 2 a.m. It was awesome.
It was awesome. And I came back and I crashed hard because the flight home after Raw, I didn't sleep very well. I had my seat ended up getting moved because there was a girl and her infant baby that was like right beside me who was like took my spot against the window. So I had nothing to lean up against to like sleep.
Oh.
And so that 5.5 hour flight home, I think I probably slept 3 of the 5 hours, but it was brutal. Whenever I woke up right as we started to descend into Baltimore, and it was brutal. I was ready to get off that plane and just get the hell home.
Hey, I got a question for you. So when we were at the dojo,
yes,
the New Japan dojo on Monday, was that Kevin Knight?
No,
it wasn't.
I didn't think it was Kevin Knight.
Because every time I see Kevin Knight's picture this week, now I'm like, was that Kevin Knight that we ran into and we didn't realize it?
I
don't know.
I hope it wasn't, because
I think Kevin Knight's taller than that guy.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I thought Kevin Knight was taller than that guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope not, because that what a flubbed opportunity that was for us.
Well, dude, I blew the opportunity to meet Ultimo Dragon.
That is true, and I blew the opportunity to dance with Too Cold Scorpio.
Man, I watched those. I watched the GCW shows that we didn't go to.
Yeah,
those shows were awesome, man. Every one of them was great. I mean, I don't really know what I'm still trying to figure out kind of what their business plan is or how they have enough money to be running shows all over the country so much. But like, dude, they run good shows, man. They really do good shows.
So what you're saying is that Ponytail Patterson got a great experience.
Ponytail Patterson may have been at the Ukrainian Center for like 4 days straight.
He might still be there.
He's probably still there. Wearing that Liger shirt that's completely a mess.
That Liger shirt is, oh man, that thing has been stretched worse than Stu. Stretching a bunch of
Ponytail Patterson.
Let me get down here and stretch it.
Bring that shirt down here. I'll stretch it.
Oh my, that guy. Just when you thought you couldn't meet a worse fan than Ponytail Patterson was the guy that sat right beside me at the Raw after Mania.
I was thinking about Wheeler Yuta beside me today. The fake Wheeler Yuta, the feeler Yuta was sitting beside me. Dude, that guy was an absolute hell with those belts, man. I couldn't. Look, here's the stupidity. There's so many stupid things. So number one, the first thing is he came to the first night of Mania. Okay, he had that belt and he held it on his lap, and it was uncomfortable, and he's fidgety the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Feeler Yuta has these battery packs, okay, that he's charging his phone with because he's listening to the audio of Mania on Peacock while he's at the show. Okay, whatever, dude. There's people that take radios to baseball games. Who cares, right? No big deal.
Yeah.
But then the second night, he comes again. Look, really nice guy, really nice guy. Talked to him, a bunch of times. But Feeler Yuta bought another belt on the way up into the stands.
It was a good belt too. They
were awesome. They were awesome belts.
He bought the undisputed belt from the early 2000s. Whenever they
the Lesnar belt, right?
The Lesnar, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero belt. Like, that thing is sick.
Look great. It looks awesome.
I wish I had that one.
He's sitting there with both of them piled on top of each other on his lap. The dude weighed. He probably weighed about 120 pounds. This guy, and he's just sitting there like. He was having trouble looking over top of the belts to look at the ring. It's like he's in just absolute hell holding these belts. He's holding them like in a bear hug because he doesn't want them to fall on the ground. Okay, so for people to get a visual of this, like I didn't understand why he didn't just lay the belt part flat on his lap and let the sides hang down over his legs.
Why didn't he do that? I don't know.
I don't understand why he didn't do that, but he's literally like holding them like he's carrying like laundry or a big basket or something.
He did.
He was so uncomfortable.
There was an easier way to do that. He probably didn't put them around his legs because sometimes those belts, like that leather is pleather. It's not like it's not soft and flexible. Like, it's stiff.
Okay.
Stiff as hell. Because my title belt that I have, they had it wrapped like that in the packaging, like this, and it like would not ever lay flat, and I had to flatten it on the wall with because I have hooks on the wall because I can't even get mine down. If I even wanted it, I'd have to like rip a hole in the wall probably because I got them up there with Gorilla Tape.
Well, hell, just wrap them around your legs, around your thighs at that point, man. Latch them around your thigh. I mean, so you're not sitting there like you've got somebody sitting on your lap. That's what it looked like the whole time. He was like dealing with somebody else sitting on his lap.
He was dealing with two humans on his lap, but they were just belts.
God almighty, they were huge too, man. But then that guy beside you, I mean, what a strange human being that guy was.
Yeah, Naruto headband.
Naruto headband was a strange guy, man.
Yeah, he was. He was nice though. Yeah, but he was in belt hell too. Because not only did he have that Snoop Dogg belt, but then he had a basket of chicken fingers.
That Snoop Dogg belt's awesome.
The Snoop Dogg belt was awesome, but he couldn't move. That was the other problem. Because he had the belt on his lap, and then he had a basket of chicken fingers. So when something happened and he wanted to get up, like he couldn't. He just had to sit and.
Let's talk about his chicken fingers for a second, because when I was down in the concourse, I looked over and saw him, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to make 20 people stand up.
Yeah.
Twice, right? So we were both ordering food at the same time. I said, hey, man, I'm just going to follow you up so that we don't have to make everybody stand up twice, right? He goes, okay, cool. And then I get my drink. I walk over to the steps. I turn around, and Naruto headband is 100% disappeared into the multiverse somewhere. He just disappeared, right? So I'm standing there, and I'm like, well, he probably went to get ketchup or something, right?
Yeah.
And dude, I literally stood on those steps like 2 minutes waiting for this guy and he just never showed up. He just disappeared. So finally I just go back up to the seat and I sit down, and I'm back in my seat for like 10 minutes before he comes back.
Like the whole the next match, the whole Shane McMahon thing happened. Dude, man, couldn't stand up because
where the hell did you go, dude?
He totally missed the Shane McMahon blowing his quad out.
God.
Because everyone was standing and he was sitting there with a basket of chicken fingers and a Snoop Dogg belt.
That's crazy.
That is lessons to be learned for the listeners. If you're going to go to a WrestleMania or a show like that, don't bring the belts. Like, the belts are cool and it's a cool thing to have, but don't bring the belts. They're just
a pain in the ass to carry.
Such a pain in the ass to carry. And people don't realize how much of a pain in the ass it is to carry until you get to that seat and
they're not light. They're not light either.
No. And then you can't you got to jump up and down for the show, and it's just not a good time, especially if you bring more than two. Unless you're going to wear that thing around your waist, don't even waste your time with it because it's too much. Even for the people that are around the people with the belts, it's too much.
Dude, buy it on the way out, dude.
Yeah,
they've got so many of them. They're not going to run out.
No, seriously. Especially if you go to a WrestleMania, man, you can buy them belts at any point in time. Go to the Superstore before the show, after the show. Hell, the Superstore was open till midnight. The show was over at 8. So like
Yeah,
you went
yeah,
to the Superstore and bought them afterwards. It's not like they didn't
absolutely.
there. So, but yeah, WrestleMania was such an unreal experience, and I would say that it absolutely it exceeded my expectations. Like the spectacle and just all of it. Like I had an expectation of what it was. I've always had this expectation in my head of what WrestleMania is, and like I didn't. It exceeded every expectation that I had. And I don't know if that was because of the venue or even like what WWE did to the venue to make it look that incredible. Like when we were talking about this in the car, like WrestleMania 40 might not be as visually pleasing. And I hate to say this for the Philly people, but like it's not going to be as visually pleasing as what WrestleMania 39 was. Like
Yeah.
it's just not. Like they don't have that enormous video board hanging over the ring. Like WWE's gonna have to create that. Like they don't have like this insane roof structure. Like it's not gonna be as pleasing.
Well, they've created that before. They've built a rig above the ring before.
It's gonna be cool, no doubt. I don't have a doubt in my mind that it's not gonna be cool, but I think that for at least for you and I, since like we are going to WrestleMania next year, it might be a step down, like venue wise.
Yeah.
And that's
I mean,
not
I went to the one in New Orleans, you said that was 35,
30.
30, 34. I
Yeah.
went to that one in New Orleans and I got to be honest with you, man, I barely remember anything from that show. It was awesome. I had a great time, but I don't remember hardly any of it.
Yeah. That feels like a forgettable WrestleMania to me.
It feels like it was 100 years ago.
Well, I mean, what we did last week feels like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want to get into this Raw after WrestleMania?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Because if things couldn't get any worse for the Cody Rhodes fans, talk about, beating us while we're down.
Thanks for coming out, Baker.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, basically, is what WWE did to me. They took a golf club and just started beating me in the ribs with it out in the outside. Good God. But the show started off with Triple H coming out, which we already knew. They already announced it. And plus the whole Endeavor thing, was announced first thing Monday morning. And that was awesome because that was the first time I'd seen Triple H live in like 20 years. So
yeah, he lied right to your face.
Yeah, he lied right to my damn face. How about
Just
that?
like he's going to do tonight to everybody in attendance at SmackDown.
Well, he doesn't want to lie to our faces. It's because Vince is holding a gun to the back of his head on the other side.
You know who he reminds me of is that the Iraqi propaganda minister who used to come out and say, "We're kicking the shit out of the Americans, man. We're kicking their ass so bad." And there's just bombs blowing up behind that guy in the background. That guy was awesome.
Oh my. So like we're in the building and I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't feel like a bad Raw. Like
it didn't. It really didn't.
It really didn't feel bad. And I don't know if that's because so I'll say this. Any of the shows that we saw this week did not feel like bad shows except for Relentless Wrestling. But
yeah. But the problem with even with that, the wrestling at Relentless wasn't bad. The only issues they had were with the insane audio problems they had, right, and their ring announcer, commentator girl, whatever she was, falling down in the ring and dropping the mic and acting like she was the sloppiest human being in the world.
Because she was.
She was. But the wrestling was fine. I mean, not a great show for Relentless. Not their best effort.
No. And I guess I can't really say anything either because we didn't put up our best effort audio wise either. So, up front, apologies on the audio if it sounded bad at any point was because I was struggling wasn't at home base, and the fact that it was like recording of what, typically my time, we usually started recording at like 5 a.m. my time, but it was 2 a.m. LA time. So I was struggling a little bit in the mornings when we started recording these things, but we're back to normal here now. The audio should be back to what you're used to. But if you're new to the Podski, especially after WrestleMania, if you found the QR code, thank you. And you found some of my litter that I found in SoFi Stadium. But the audio is going to be much better now.
Yeah, we're not relentless wrestling. We're trying to fix our audio problem.
Right. We're not going to play That's Amore, 75
I mean,
times.
we should,
and we should, but we won't.
It got so bad with them playing That's Amore that we were hoping Luigi Primo was going to come out.
Yes. Oh my. Jeez. It was so bad. But in terms of the shows, like they didn't I thought NXT was a 5-star show. I thought that WrestleMania Night 1 was a 5-star show. I thought that WrestleMania Night 2 would have been a 5-star show, except minus that finish made it a 4 3/4 star show.
Sure.
But the shows did not feel long in the buildings. They felt very nice and tight. They flowed really well. And I don't know if that's because we were in the building and we didn't have to see all of the ads and all of the commentary or not, but I would say that the in-building experience for the entire week for every single show was so much more enjoyable than it was if I was watching it on television.
I would, the only part of that I would disagree with was the Pandemonium riot.
That riot sucked. The riot didn't suck. Well, I mean, the riot was a little rough, but the fact that we had no idea in the building who the hell was coming out because they didn't have they had TVs above the ring but they didn't show who the name was that came out. We had to wait until they were in the ring and
heard somebody else in the crowd say their name.
Yeah, so we were completely lost on that.
That's what kills me about CMLL, because I have to pull the roster up of CMLL and try to figure out who the hell these people are when they come out.
Yeah,
they don't put the names on the freaking screen.
Yeah, I didn't even care if they even did a PowerPoint presentation on that screen and they flicked the names up, just kept hitting the next arrow when the next person came out. That would have been so much more helpful.
Yeah.
Or the fact that we were 24 people deep into a 30-man battle royal and we only had 2 eliminations and we had 17 people laying along ringside waiting to jump in the ring to get eliminated,
camping out.
Yeah,
for 30 minutes.
Like Gunther did in that match, except only Gunther was way better.
Yeah.
But yeah, the in-ring experience, especially for Raw, I thought that Raw was awesome until I got to the airport and I started listening to Sean Ross Sapp. He did the post Raw review and people were absolutely shitting all over the show. And I was like, did we just watch the same show that everybody else did?
Well, a lot of that is the recency of just not getting the big reveals that they wanted to get, right, and people knee jerking in the moment. That's a lot of what that is. Because look, man, I know it's better when you're there live, and I know it's the same thing as it is when you go to a concert. You go to a concert, you see a band live, you're like, this band's awesome, and then you hear their album and you're not that into it, right? It's a natural thing. But that first hour of Raw, when we were there, our seats were incredible. Number one, so yeah, and so that first hour I thought was excellent, even though it was exactly what I expected it to be. A drawn out, slow thing. I never felt bored. I wanted to be there. I enjoyed it. The second hour was a typical Raw hour. It didn't bother me because I knew we were going to get a Raw hour. That's all it was. It didn't bother me at all. And then the third hour was dragged out, all slow, drag out. It's a 3-hour show, man. And people have got to realize that is what this is. It's a 3-hour show. You're going to get a 20-minute Roman Reigns segment where 10 of it is them walking to the ring. Who cares? That's what it is, man. Just stop fighting that and just accept that it's a 3-hour Raw. You're going to get that every week.
And people need to understand and also accept the fact that they're not getting rid of the third hour. They make way too much money to get rid of that third hour.
There's no way. Why would they?
Right.
Why would they get rid of it?
They're never getting rid of the third hour. They're
not going to go back to the network and say, don't give us more time.
Right.
It's never going to happen.
No. So I would say that like people just need to get on board with it. Yes, it sucks and it's brutal to get through. That's why we got fast forward. That's why, you're sitting at home. You can go do other things. Like
A lot of the thing that I liked about Nitro, and this is probably, me looking back with nostalgia, and it's probably not as good as what I thought, but that first hour of Nitro when they went to the 3 hour shows was a lot of the luchadors and a lot of the Jerichos and the Benoits and Guerreros and all that. Those were awesome matches they had during the first hour.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe turn that. I mean, that if you translate that to right now, that would be like an NXT / 205 Live hour leading into Raw, right? If you would look at it like based on like comparing it to what it is right now, what that was versus now, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's what you want to do with it, where you just end up you have all the guys out there killing each other and getting the crowd fired up with badass matches, and then you lead that into the Hogan, DDP, Luger stuff, for the next 2 hours, whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. It would eliminate a lot of issues, I think, with like, because people want to see really good matches, and you could do that. You just keep using the under guys, like, and just throw them on the first hour. But I mean, they're not going to do that. But I want to talk about Nitro once we're done with the Raw thing. I want to talk about Nitro. But yeah, I didn't think that this Raw was terrible at all. I thought it was pretty good, better than a Raw than I would be normally expecting, and that's only because I was in the building. But we did notice some things that were going on in the building. The first thing that I noticed was, now I know that somebody posted a picture to Sean Ross Sapp, and I did post a picture too, but there was a section over to our left, which our seats, absolute shout out to Mrs. Andretti for the seats. The seats were incredible again, like back-to-back shows at Crypto with those seats was absolutely incredible. And the section right beside us, somebody was running the show from that seat, and somebody said that they had changed the run sheet like 3 times already within the first hour. I didn't see that until the Street Profits came out, and the Street Profits were in the ring, and somebody brought it. I mean, the only reason I know it's a run sheet is because the guy handed it to the lighting and music guys who were literally a row in front of us. The guy took the piece of paper he was looking at, he ripped it to shreds, threw it away, and started reading that page that guy handed to him. So that's the only thing that has to be a run sheet. Like, we're not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what else that would be. It's not going to be like, an email or something someone's sending. But the other thing that we were both looking at each other like, what in the hell is going on, was that Seth Rollins segment. What the hell was that?
I wish I knew, man, because he came out and then a whole bunch of people ran out and talked to him, and he was looking around like, what the hell was happening?
Yeah. I have no idea. We thought we were on commercial that entire time, and he just disappeared, and we're like, what the hell just happened? They literally changed the show on the fly.
Like, why?
Why? I don't know. I was ready for Seth. I wanted Seth to do something cool.
He literally walked out, and then he went to break, and a bunch of people ran out and told him something, and he looked around the building like, I don't know what the hell we're doing, and then he walked out.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which sucks, because he's like one of their top guys, and it's like, even that guy looked frustrated.
Right. And we'll get to it by the end of this show here, but obviously somebody else is running the show. And it just the other thing that I want to talk about this show is that fan that sat beside me, that guy had my gears grinding. That guy pissed me off.
We met some interesting people this week.
We did meet some interesting people this week. And this guy quickly rose to prominence on the top of that list. He does not beat Ponytail Patterson or T-shirt lady, or he definitely beats the rats that followed us around. But this guy, it's the first thing that he says to me when he sits down is that Jay White is coming out tonight.
Boy, how right was he?
Boy, how right was he? Yes. Good Lord. Then
There is no chance Jay White is getting signed to the WWE when Vince is in charge. No chance.
Right. So then the next thing he says to me is that AJ Styles is coming back tonight. And we literally are
Two for two.
Two for two, yeah, because AJ Styles did not come back. But then he doubled back on that, AJ Styles, and said that AJ Styles was going to form the Bullet Club again with Cody Rhodes.
An IP they don't own.
An IP they don't own. 0 for 3 for this guy. Then, when Brock Lesnar comes out, he said these guys are going to lose the main event together, and then Cody won't be able to challenge for the world title ever again. And that's whenever...
Hey, 4 for 4.
That's when I lost it. I said... I don't even remember what I said to this guy, but even you knew that I was pissed.
You said something very deadpan right to his face, something like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yes, that's what I said.
Without laughing or anything.
I said, like, my reaction, because by this point, I'm pissed that this guy continues to talk to me. I'm already tired of shit.
He's not even drunk. He's just an idiot.
He's not even drunk. He was not drunk. Like, he literally was just that stupid. And he said...
He's just shooting from the hip.
Right.
With ideas.
Literally pissed me off so much. I said, that is the worst idea I've ever heard my entire life. And he didn't speak a word to me the rest of the show.
And then he left.
And he left in the second hour. Boy, did that guy piss me off.
He got sucked back into the multiverse during the second hour.
Whatever happened to him? Good Lord. That was so bad. And then during the Omos Elias squash, as soon as Omos's music hit, he screamed boring, and he tried to do a boring chant the whole entire match. Don't be that guy.
The match was 30 seconds long.
How is it boring? It was 30 seconds.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Anyways. We got the Bad Bunny thing, which was kind of right down in front of us, which was pretty cool. The Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio match I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was good.
I actually went through TSA with Austin Theory after the show.
Did you talk to him?
I did not. No, I was too afraid.
You blew an opportunity there too.
Look, he looked really pissed to even be alive. And then my bag, I didn't put my laptop and my backpack in a different container going through TSA, so they pulled my bag. So even though I was standing right beside him, like, they were looking through my bag. So I'd be like, hey man, they're going through my bag. I'm
it's
wearing a WrestleMania jacket. How are you doing, bud?
Boy, isn't it amazing how many people and how many talents have been unhappy since Monday night. And wonder what the common denominator of all that is.
It has to be that dark-haired, pencil, mustached-looking old man.
The fact that people have already said, if this keeps up, I'm leaving. I mean, dude, at what point do you realize that you're the hindrance? But we'll get into that.
Yeah, he did not. He honestly, and all the stuff that I had seen recently with like Rhea Ripley in the airport, I didn't want to be like, hey man, what's up? Like, I just didn't want to bother him.
Yeah.
And at that rate, it was like already like late as well. Like, so I just didn't want to bother him. But I did go through TSA with Austin Theory.
But I would say Wrestling Dawn. Look, he's not going to show up tonight because Sakura Genesis is tonight. Late tonight, New Japan. He won't be there tonight. But I would be willing to bet a Hagerstown Roy Rogers hamburger that Bronson Reed will show up at Wrestling Dontaku in New Japan at the next big show.
Really?
He's gonna get fired.
I mean, the cuts are gonna come,
dude. They're already making Dakota Kai and Io Shirai look like jobbers. It's coming, dude. All the people that he released are going to get re-released. Watch and see.
I know.
And I'll be telling you how awesome Dakota Kai is on Dynamite. And I'll be telling you how awesome Io Shirai is in Stardom and how great Jonah is back in New Japan.
I know.
You realize Jonah beat Okada.
Yeah.
So go back there and be the champ of the best promotion in the world.
We'll get to him in a little bit. The other notable things that happened, the Kevin Owens versus Street Profits. We had a dude in the section beside us that he really wanted a Kevin Owens Sami Zayn chant. He really tried hard.
Yeah, he did.
And the guy sitting beside me had to yell over and let him know that his claps were not in sync with his chant. Boy, did that guy suck.
A lot of interesting
Liv
characters.
Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez deal, we instantly got up and went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I
am not a Liv Morgan fan. I'm never going to be. I don't see it. I know there's people that like her, little kids like her, but I'm not in on that.
Me neither. Don't want to.
Raquel Rodriguez is fantastic. She's a future women's champ. I'm looking forward to that. I love her. I think she's always been great. She's big. She's physical. She's got a great look. She's strong as hell. I mean, she's got every tool, man. She's going to be really great.
Yes, absolutely agree on that front, but not on Liv Morgan.
No.
But then the main event came, and talk about beating me while I'm down. Brock Lesnar turns on Cody Rhodes during the intros and proceeds to beat the absolute shit out of him for 15 minutes. And we knew something was going to happen because they did 15 minutes worth of entrances, and I kept looking at my watch, and I kept saying, holy fuck, we only got 5 minutes left. What are they going to do? And Brock Lesnar just beat the absolute tar out of Cody Rhodes. And yet another babyface gets absolutely obliterated.
With no help.
After the night before, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn helped him on WrestleMania. Why did they not come out and help him? Well, I don't understand that.
It's one of those things in wrestling that's always been really baffling, especially in like the last couple decades, where they let the baby faces look like they don't have any friends, and they just get out there and they get beaten into oblivion. I mean, one of the most egregious ones, the one that beautiful Bobby Winters always brings up, is the one where Cody's getting killed in the ring in AEW, and they're literally doing a backstage segment with Dustin Rhodes.
Why did his brother run out and get him?
Dude, it's unbelievable. I mean, that kind of, it drives me nuts.
I don't know what that was, but I'm excited for Brock and Cody. I didn't think we would get this soon. And if you listen to our WrestleMania Night 2 show, we talked about who's the fourth man. And then when Brock comes out, we both looked at each other like, oh shit, like they're going to make Brock the fourth man.
Why not? Look, in previous decades, in pretty much every other promotion, when something like that would happen, like mid-card, low-card baby faces would run to the ring.
Yes.
And they would get killed.
Right.
So why not have the Street Profits run out to the ring and just get destroyed by Lesnar? Why not?
I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
I don't know, but talk about, a rough weekend for Cody Rhodes fans. If you were a Cody Rhodes fan this weekend, you got the shit beat out of you, and you kept getting the shit beat out of you the next one night on Raw. And which is really sucky for the guy that sold the most merch of all WrestleMania week, which was reported. That guy got the shit beat out of him on your Raw after Mania, which is supposed to be your biggest Raw of the year.
You got Matt Riddle.
That's a farting church.
How soon is that guy going to show up on AEW TV?
I hope he doesn't show up anywhere. I don't want to see him wrestle ever again. He's probably, with that Endeavor deal, he's probably going to jump over to UFC.
Hey, good for you. Go do it. See you later.
Good riddance.
Yep.
But I don't know. That Raw, I mean, I feel like we just acted like we didn't like Raw, because we did.
I had a great time there. I really did.
I did too, but we're days removed, and now we're thinking about what we saw. But while we were in the moment, we were like, man, that was actually a really good Raw. I actually really enjoyed myself. Absolutely sucks that Cody got his shit kicked in, but we're here. It's whatever. We're gonna
Now,
get
in fairness to all of them, it kind of came out, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it came out this week that supposedly this has been the plan all along.
yes.
Is that he was going to lose at Mania, and then Lesnar was going to turn. I mean, fine. If that's the case, then so be it. I don't know if I believe that, but I hope that that's the truth.
I do too. I think that Cody losing was probably the plan all along. I don't know if Lesnar turning was the plan all along, based off of who was running that show on Monday night.
I mean, look, the issue, like I didn't watch WWE for 20 years, man. I mean, here and there, very sporadically, because it was terrible. And there's one reason for that, and it's just it comes down to the fact that until the numbers change, until people stop buying merch, until people stop watching the show, in Vince McMahon's mind, nothing has to change because it doesn't matter. I can just do whatever I want to do. People are still buying everything. The numbers are huge. We're making a ton of money. Nothing matters. I can do whatever I want to do. It doesn't matter. And that's really shitty to be a fan and to have to deal with that. But from his standpoint, why is he not want to be in charge from his standpoint?
Yeah.
If that's the case, they just merged the company. They're going to make a ton of money off of that deal. What does he care? People are still watching the show.
I don't know. So I really thought long and hard about this on Wednesday when I was off. I thought that, Vince being back, what's changed other than he's old? He's a 77-year-old man who has an absolutely has an ego problem, which has always had an ego problem. No one's ever said that Vince has never had an ego problem, because he always has. But what were the things that were in place prior to now that are not there anymore? The people that aren't there anymore are Pat Patterson, Briscoes, Slaughter, Monsoon. Those are the people that would step in that Vince respected. Who does Vince respect anymore? There's nobody higher than Vince or lower than Vince that he respects more than himself. So that's what I think is a big problem, is that there's nobody there that Vince respects more than Vince. And so it's whatever Vince says goes, and nobody wants to step on anyone's toes.
This is going to keep going until he passes away or is incapacitated. It's what it is.
We had 9 months of where they actually got us all invested, and it's because Vince was not there, and they had a clear-cut direction of where they were going, and the shows didn't deviate mid-show. The shows were the shows, and they were actually not saying that every show was a home run, because they're not, but they had a clear direction, and nobody knows what the fucking direction is now after one show.
There's already signs, because who won that women's tag match at Mania?
I don't remember. Rhonda and Shayna?
I think they did, right?
Aren't they? Yeah, they're SmackDown people, so they should be on SmackDown tonight.
But they said that Liv and Raquel are getting a tag title match.
But they're
based
on
Monday night, correct?
I think that if they won, they got a tag title opportunity, I think.
So what happened?
I will say this, that it is hard to be in the building and catch everything, because they're not going to tell you everything going on in the building. They just want you to pop for who's coming out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a little lost on that. I don't really care about the women's tag title, division. I don't give a shit about that.
Well, you should. And I'm saying that from a standpoint of it's their job to make you care.
Right.
And they're not really doing that.
No, correct. I do care about the Becky and Lita Trish thing, just because down the line we're probably going to get a really cool match out of that deal. But I don't know. What I don't know.
Yeah, we got to get Becky and Trish out of that, because
we got to get Becky and Trish.
The tread is off the tire with Lita. And look, she's going to keep showing up and doing stuff, but like no more matches.
Right. No more. But they're going to have to do another one, or at minimum. But it all kind of looks like we're leading to Brock and Roman in Puerto Rico, which I'm okay with.
You think Brock and Roman in Puerto Rico, or you think Brock and
Brock and Cody at Puerto Rico? I'm sorry. Pretty much they said that Roman is not going to be on. They said Roman's not going to be on that Puerto Rico show.
Okay.
So
But Sikoa
is going to be on it.
I bet you they put Sikoa in a match on that. They're really high on that guy.
He's the odd man out, right? He's the odd man right now.
Yeah. Thinking about that too, real quick about the Mania, people were complaining about the finish to that match and how it wasn't anything outrageous. But like, look, man, I don't think it has to be. I mean, we've got to get out of this mentality of it has to be this like super outrageous finish, or else we feel disappointed. Just step back for a second, okay? A guy ran into the ring, punched a guy in the throat. That guy then took the finisher from the champion and got pinned.
Yeah.
Is that not a believable finish? He got hit in the throat.
Yes.
Like, why are people complaining that wasn't creative enough?
Even Cornette said that even was. He said,
I had zero issue with that.
I mean, Cornette, you are a big Cornette guy. I have to limit myself on Cornette.
I haven't listened to Cornette in probably 6 months, if not longer than that.
You have to take him with a grain of salt but that guy is a wrestling historian. That dude knows a lot about the business. And for him to say that, that match was an incredible and great match until they threw that final hand down for the 3 count, he thought that match was incredible. And as did all of us. We thought that match was incredible. We thought that match was probably going to be match of the night.
That was, like I said before, that was the best Reigns I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was the Roman Reigns I've been waiting to see.
Right. And I don't know if that's the best Cody we've seen, but it was damn close.
Probably top 5, right? Or somewhere around there.
I would say top 3 for me. Just because for me, my favorite match of all time is that Cody Dustin match at Double or Nothing. And then I would say that the Cody match with MJF was really good. I don't know if that's a top 5er for me, not a top 3, but the championship match that he had with Jericho, I thought was really good.
The Okada matches are in there somewhere too,
and
right?
The Okada and Omega match, like that Omega match is number 2 for sure. The Jericho one, I think that this WrestleMania match slots in right at 3 for me. And I think that the Jericho and MJF follows in at 4 and 5. I would probably slot the Okada one in there, but I can't remember it right now.
Right.
Those, that catalog of matches that Cody has are really, really good. And I would say that, hanging out there at 6 is probably Seth and Cody from last year Mania.
Yeah.
But I think it was a believable finish. It fits in storyline wise. They've been building Solo with the thumb, and I felt that it was, after taking a step back and breathing for a second, believable finish, but sucks to be a fan, I guess, of the finish because the fan today wants in immediate, like, we need immediacy. We need validation right away. And
that's more of an issue too right now, because that's the Triple H mentality is the slow burn over the course of time, and you build legends and you build legendary storylines, because that's what it was when he was growing up. And
Correct.
That's when things were really good.
Yes.
And then we got the Vince era, where it is the 6 inches in front of your face, where whatever he decides to do in the moment is what you get. So he is the one who is fed into all of the insanity of, hey, this guy got over, put the belt on him. Hey, this girl got over, put the belt on her. And then a week later, he gets tired of her and takes the belt off her. Like he is the catalyst of all of that. His whims are the catalyst of why fans are insane.
Yeah. And now Triple H had cleaned it up pretty much. And now everything that Triple H has done for the last 9 months has completely taken a shit all over everything. And now he's got to come back out on SmackDown tonight to make another, hey, things haven't changed while he's got a knife in his back.
while
So
while the bombs are going off behind the podium.
bombs are going off behind him, and it just is. How do you believe anything that they say? They how many times have they done this? This is the
Well, I mean, look, man, I don't. I've said this to you before. I don't need to watch their product. I really do enjoy New Japan. I like CMLL. I like Stardom. I like AEW. I mean, I can deal with the AEW shenanigans because there's so many people on that roster that I enjoy watching. I don't have to ever watch WWE again. And I didn't for 20 years. And I was completely happy and still watch wrestling almost every day of my life. So, I mean, it's if you want to go back to that and you want to do the I'm going to book 6 inches in front of my face and I'm going to change everything on the fly and everybody's going to be unhappy and the talent all wants to leave. If you want to go back to that, then go back to that. But you can count me out.
Yeah, I am back invested now, and I feel like I can't abandon the ship for Cody. And I feel like, the Bloodline, the thing that really sucks as a Cody fan is that the Bloodline shit is really cool. And it just sucks that, like, it's like Irresistible Force has fully meeting the real immovable object. And it's just going to take a long ass time for them to finally meet again. But who knows with what's going to happen in between, and especially with Vince at the helm. I just don't trust Vince at all. And I mean, we'll see where it goes. But for right now, this merger with Endeavor is a bad deal all around for fans.
Yeah.
Maybe not for the business, but for fans, it's a shit and raw deal. Because
In the short term, because he's not going to be there forever, but he could be there for 10 more years.
That's the problem. In the short term, 7 days removed, not even 7 days, like 3 days removed, it feels like a kick in the nads when, Vince is back running shit and changes shit on the fly. But, and even if they do the pay-per-view model again, I don't know how you can convince your fans to go back to that after you've been paying $9.99 a month for the last 6 years. How are you going to say, hey, you should pay for the big four or you should pay for every month? Like,
there's no chance.
There are people will legitimately revolt for that.
Yeah, there's no chance of doing that again.
So I don't know. This Endeavor deal has not been great start so far.
Well, I think Endeavor is going to just, they're going to play the game until they get everything settled hopefully by the end of the year. And they're going to let Vince do whatever the heck Vince wants to do. And maybe by the end of the year, when the dust settles, they'll make a move and say, you know what, we need better creative. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to let Vince do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, for pretty much do you think that like Ari is letting him do whatever, do you think that Ari is letting Vince hear whatever Vince wants to hear?
There's no question in my mind he's doing exactly that.
Just in an effort to get the company. And then we're going to take an axe to it.
Maybe. Or they just leave him in place until he decides to leave. But there's no way a rational human being can look at that and say that this is a good direction with him doing everything.
No.
They're just going to ride it out, man. That's what it is. They're going to ride it out.
But man, we put them. I have not been a WWE guy for a long time. I've been, waving the flag for AEW for the last 3 years. And then for the since Cody got back, I was waving this WWE flag. I planted it in the sand. I was putting him over. I put him over for a whole week. And like, it feels like such a gut punch after, everything has kind of happened the last couple days. But I guess we need to be a little more patient and see where it goes, and maybe should have a little more trust. But it's really hard to have trust after, all these years.
This just got reported. Drew McIntyre was pulled from tonight's SmackDown. So what are they doing with him? Because his deal is coming up within the next year, right? Pretty soon.
Okay, so now that's interesting. That's a really interesting point because
when are they running the show in London? When's AEW running Wembley?
That's okay. You are reading my mind. September or August 27th.
So that's what, 3 months out?
Yeah.
May, June, July, about 4 months. It's about 4 months out.
If they cut him and they give him a 90 day no compete, and that dude, I don't think I don't think that he's going to show up at this card of
I
shows.
don't think they're going to cut him, right? They'll just let the deal expire.
Yeah,
I think that guy will be there for the rest of his career. I really do, and not do anything.
I don't know. Wait until I tell JC this. Let me text JC right now, live on the air.
I mean, does Drew? I mean, Drew would be a big addition for them to have at Wembley, but I don't know if he's a guy that moves the needle that much for their product. Does he? Is he that big of a star?
I think that he is now. I don't think that he was back in the day. I don't know if he was I don't know if he's a big star enough to move the needle, but I think he's enough to bring eyes back to the product. Because that guy was WWE champion, what, like 3 years ago? Like,
that feels so forgettable, so long ago.
Yeah, it does. But I was always a Drew. I like Drew McIntyre, but
I like him too. I just don't know I don't know if he's the guy you give the football to. I don't know.
But if you haven't heard, they AEW on Wednesday announced that they're running Wembley Stadium for All In. And I have some thoughts about that. So Wembley Stadium is where they held, what was that, SummerSlam 93?
That was Hart Smith, right?
Hart Smith. And they haven't run there since. It's like one of the greatest WWE spectacles that they've ever done. They had that thing packed to the gills. And AEW is going to run All In there on August 27th. Now, they didn't say it was a pay-per-view. And typically, the following week is All Out weekend. So All In was a Ring of Honor property, obviously, because that's kind of what kickstarted AEW. And All Out, AEW couldn't use All In. So they had to come out. They came up with All Out as their first pay-per-view right before they started TV. So now are they going to do All In one weekend and come right back and run it back again with All Out? Like,
I don't understand what the plan is for that.
I hope that's not the case. They can't run back-to-back shows like that. I feel like you have to make this Wembley Stadium, like, okay, so let's put into terms what Wembley Stadium is. Wembley Stadium is a 90,000 seat arena. WWE just ran SoFi Stadium and they had 81,000 people in the building. That might be a kayfabe number, but still. AEW is now getting into the stadium game, and for them to run into a brand new market, they've never been to the UK before. It's an enormous, very prestigious venue, and for them to run it is pretty ballsy. I think they're going to have to.
I don't know why WWE quit going.
What'd you say?
I don't know why WWE quit running shows over there.
I don't know either. They're going back to London for Money in the Bank, but they're not running Wembley.
I don't know.
It's kind of weird that AEW beat WWE back to Wembley. But
are they running the O2? What are they trying to run?
I think they might be running the O2. I don't know. I thought that was strange too. So, but I don't know. The Drew thing is interesting. So here's JC's response to Drew being cut from SmackDown. He said, "Burn
in live time."
In live time, JC says, "Burn the boats. Wonder if the contract talks broke down."
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But it's going to get interesting. I'm gonna go set the DVR to record Rampage for the first time tonight, and I'm going to record Battle of the Belts, and I'm going to watch that, and I'm not watching SmackDown. So you're gonna have to let me know how SmackDown goes, because they're on timeout with me, at least in the short term.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch SmackDown. Probably I might do some fast forwarding because I probably won't be able to watch it fully live, but I will. Yeah, I'll let you know. But I don't know, this Drew McIntyre thing. AEW is going to have to put a big card up. And the only thing that I can think of, the 4 names that come up in my mind that got to be on that card is Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay too. Though for the second meeting of them,
everybody should be there. That's a big name.
Yes, you got to have Mercedes.
Jericho.
Jericho.
Monet,
You got to have Ibushi,
Fox.
Young Bucks. You got to have CM Punk. I don't want to, we don't know what's going on with him, but, from all accounts, it sounds like he's coming back very soon. And I want that. I know you don't care, but I want that. FTR, your new World Tag Team Champions, they got to do something big.
I think they need to have appearances too. We were talking about that a little bit yesterday. Like, I mean, bring Bret Hart out, dude.
Yeah.
If he's not under contract with the WWE, which I don't know if he is, just that would be really good to have him there at that Wembley show after having that awesome match with Davey Boy.
Right.
That would be good to wheel him out there to do something.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree. But yeah, it's going to be a big show. It's really big for AEW to, basically their response to WrestleMania is we're going to fucking run Wembley, and that's a pretty big response.
I mean, I don't know if they have the crowd for it.
I don't know if they'll get 90,000. I think if they get anything above 40, that's a win. And they had 25,000 people sign up for early tickets yesterday.
Well, that's really great.
The early advance was 25,000.
And I know I asked you this yesterday, but did WWE sell out Cardiff?
I think they got damn close.
Okay. So you would think that anybody in the UK would probably want to try to go to that show if they're a wrestling fan.
Oh, I would assume, yeah.
You got to get Hater on that card.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe you go Hater and Saraya.
Yes.
That would be an enormous match for that card.
I would assume too. I would absolutely assume that you gotta have Hater and Page on that, or Hater Saraya. You gotta have. I mean, you got to. I mean, putting Will Ospreay on that card, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I would assume you maybe put Vikingo on that card.
That would be good.
They
had Commander on Dynamite again.
Yeah, and so I saw Dave's stars for the weekend. He gave the Ring of Honor a 4.76 and gave the Mark Hitchcock a 4.75.
I disagree with that.
I absolutely disagree with that.
Disagree.
I have to give Dave a lariat after watching all these shows this week, man.
Dave Meltzer's an entertainer, and then we have to treat it like that.
Yeah, that was our we covered a lot there. We covered a little bit of WrestleMania talk, Raw WrestleMania and AEW.
We were all over the place with that, but that's
all over the place.
It's to be expected here, I guess.
The one thing I did want to talk about before we, ride off into the sunset is this WCW crowdfunder that Mattel Creations is doing. I backed it, and you have till the end of the day. So if you're hearing this on Friday, April 7th, you had till the end of the day to back it to get to 5,000 to get the Hogan, which I don't think it's going to happen. It's not going to get early backed, but I think they might get to 5,000 to get the project done. We'll see. But all of those people that get on those forums and those boards that complain that, we don't get the big gold without the WWE logo. We don't get that. How come we don't get that? You got people in there that want to complain that, you didn't make the Raw stage. Well, you gotta back it to get that title for the first time ever. And you gotta back it because if this doesn't get funded, we're never going to get a Raw entranceway. So I don't want to hear people complaining that, we're not going to get what we want because we didn't fund the WCW thing, because you had a chance to back it and you should back it. So, I did read a thing that they had space in mind, and you can make it as small as a 10 by 10 space. So it'll fit on most shelves, but the price point is big. So yeah. I don't know if they're going to make it. They've had a surge over. So they were sitting, what we say? They were at 1,400 on Sunday. And
it got a bump though, right?
It did get it's got a bump, and it's literally got a bump in the last two. I would say they got a bump. They got 200 more people, so they're at 1,830 right now.
Well, they got a long way to go.
A long way to go. So we'll see. I don't know. I think that they need to change. They need to change it. I think you got to get 3 figures to get to 5,000. You can't give out 1 figure. It's not enough value. It's not enough value. You got to give out 3 figures at 5K, and then the other 2 can be your extra ones. You got to give the DDP, and you got to give them the Hogan. Or you got to say, screw the Hogan, give him the Steiner. You got to give at least those 3 at 5K. If they did that today and said, you know what, we're going to change our minds. We're going to give you Steiner, Mysterio, and DDP at 5. Yeah. I guarantee you they would make it today.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know. I don't like the model that they went with this time because you got 2 figures the first time. And then if you did the early backer, you got 3. Now you're only getting 1 figure, and if you do the early backer, you get 2. But if you get 11,000, then you get all 5. Like, that's not enough people. You're not. It's too niche. You're not going to get enough people. I don't know. They need to change it, and I think that Mattel. They say that they won't, but I think that they might because they want to back it because they know that they're not going to miss an opportunity to make the Raw arena. And they've already got their eggs in a basket. They started the Raw, the Monday Night Wars line. They got the ring coming from Ringside Collectibles. So like, there's no way this thing ain't going to get funded. They got to come up with something quick.
You think the Rick Steiner stuff from last week is going to affect those elites?
I don't think so. I hope not. It won't affect Scott, I don't think. It might affect Rick.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't affect Rick.
One more thing I want to talk about real quick while we're thinking. I know we're all over the place with this show, man, but I mean our brains are still mush from getting over last week. But Jay White debuting at Dynamite. And just talking about that Dynamite real quick here. I mean, they went all in on giving fans a post WrestleMania Raw.
Yes.
On Dynamite. They really did. They booked an unbelievable Raw.
That was a really good show.
On Wednesday night for Dynamite. Because they had the reveals, they did a title flip, they had surprise debuts, moved along storylines, great matches. That was basically what we should have got Monday night.
That was an incredible AEW. I will say that.
They did a good job.
I have been out on AEW just because the shows, their in between shows are a little bit hard to follow sometimes, but this one was a good one.
You know, I think I bag on Tony Khan a lot, and I even did it, last week on the pod and everything. But man, I watched that media scrum with CM Punk again. And they just had the camera zoomed in on Tony Khan, and I saw that view of it. Dude, I have never felt so bad for a human being in my life than I did watching Tony Khan sitting next to CM Punk, and Khan just looked like his puppy ran away, dude. He looked so sad, and I felt so bad for that guy watching that view of just him. Just sitting there like, man, that guy has such a good reputation of being nice to his employees, to his, to the stance of it being detrimental. He's nice to people to the stance of it being detrimental sometimes, and because he probably is a good person at heart that wants to do good shows and run a good company. And he deals with egomaniacs like that, that are just lunatics. But man, that really made me feel bad for that guy, man. Just watching his face during that whole show really, really kind of made me just feel awful for what he was dealing with. But look, people get themselves into those positions, and they don't have enough support around to delegate work to and to have other people take on tasks and things like that. And that's part of leadership. And he's just got to grow into that role. And I hope he did. And I hope he's learned from that. But man, that was sad watching him just get kicked in the face during that scrum.
Yeah, he literally did get kicked in the face. He got kicked in the face like all of us Cody fans got kicked.
It made me like CM Punk even less after watching that. Again, and I know that happened, 7 months ago, 6 months ago, and even watching that again, it made me think even less of those people.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. You can't defend what he did. Um, it just sucks. Like we need to mend fences here. We need to get the damn matches in the ring, and I'm pretty sure that's how all of us feel. Get the damn matches in the ring, and get over it.
I mean that Jay White thing, it didn't feel like a big deal when he came out. It didn't feel like a big deal. And I know Excalibur went above and beyond as he always does to try to get that person over and explain who that person is and how big of a superstar that guy really is. But it did not get the pop that I expected it to get.
I agree. I thought that it felt flat, and it just feels really flat. Like it. I don't know if the run in was cool. I don't know if I would have liked the run in from the stage, but it was just different. And typically, you usually get something really big. You get a boom shot, you get a zoom shot of him like doing an entrance or something like that. But this one kind of fit, and it fit in. Like when you think about it, it fit in terms of like him doing the run in, and I don't know. But Jay White signing an AEW is a huge deal.
I mean, they got to present him that way. He's got to be presented like he's a main player. And
Agreed.
I don't know if it came off that way
I don't think so.
on Wednesday. It just felt like another guy running in.
It did. It really did. It really.
I don't want him fighting for the TNT title, man.
No. 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 I want him going for the world title. Like
It's got to be him and Omega and him and Cole and him and Jericho and MJF and all those people. Like it's got to be a big deal with him.
it has.
Because I know he's not the biggest guy in the world, but like they've got to present him and let him be a top guy, man. And I really hope that we can get there.
Yeah. No. I totally agree. They're doing this big show, man, and they got Double or Nothing coming up. AEW might. If AEW is smart, you got to capitalize right now because, people are pissed at WWE. And if you want to give the people something to, kind of bring them back to your show after you kind of kick them in the dick for the last month, like give us something good here.
Look, if they're going to do the Bullet Club thing in AEW, then so be it. I mean, let's get more people involved, man. Let's get a couple more guys to join the Bullet Club that we don't expect. I don't have any ideas on who that would be, but I think that there's a good opportunity there to do something.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, after seeing Ace Austin and Chris Bay as Bullet Club members live, I would love to see those guys show up.
That would be cool. I don't know if they're working with Impact anymore.
Are they not?
I don't think AEW is working with Impact anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think they ended that deal. But we'll see. We got big shows coming up. We got SmackDown tonight. We got Battle of the Belts. Is that tonight or tomorrow night?
Tonight. It's the second hour tonight.
All right. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see Billy Starks, who we saw wrestle 75 times last week. She's facing Jade Cargill.
Please don't sign her, Tony. Not yet, man. Let her, if you want to put her on TV, do it. So be it. Put her on Dark Elevation. Get her a rub on Rampage once in a while, whatever, but don't sign her.
Absolutely.
Not yet, man. Let her do her thing. Let her get better. She's going to be really good.
Yep. So with that, we're going to give the big thank you to Andretti and Mrs. Andretti for last week. It was an awesome experience.
Well, thank you for coming out, man. I know it's, a big deal for you to fly across country and be gone, away from work and your wife and everything for a whole week. And I hope it was fun. I had a hell of a good time, man.
It was a hell of a good time.
And look, we're already talking about next year. We're already planning for next WrestleMania and how we're going to do it, who's going to come. And I mean, look, that stuff's going to come around sooner than you think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're less than a year away already. So, but yeah, can't thank you guys enough for everything last week. It was awesome. Hell of a good time. Can't wait to do it again next year.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, with that, we will see you next time on the Podski.